Hello, gentlemen, and welcome to a special showing of the Midnight Broadcast Network on YouTube. My name is Slade84. Not usually the booth for the Cup Series events as usual, but we have 3 Cup guys in this event here. This is the All-Star Open, brought to you by Ronin Imports tonight at the Chicagoland Speedway. This is where the All-Star race this season for the Team MBN PRCS Pocono Racing Cup Series will be held. We have an open here, which consists of 12 cars. And then later tonight, at the normal 9:30 start time of our usual Cup Series races, we will have I think it's going to be a 13-car field or a 12-car field all-star race, which we'll go over the guys in the open here in a few seconds because we're about to get invites to get into a lobby. Still trying to set this up. Sorry if we pause for a second. But in the booth with me here tonight for this open is JRM Keffer, the number 88 in the PRCS and Pocono Raceway Cup Series, and then the number 17 of Fluffy. So, Keffer, what do you think we'll see here in this open? Because not only do we have, just Cup guys who have not won this year or in the past 2 seasons, but also a couple of Xfinity drivers and with a little fun in the starting order in both races. What do you think is going to happen tonight?
Well, thank you for having me tonight, Slade. It's a beautiful Tuesday evening here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I don't know, Dan. It's going to be a pretty good race. You got a lot of talent out there. I mean, even the guys in the Xfinity Series are pretty good. Some of the guys race on the Xfinity just because they can't race usually on Tuesday nights, so you have a little mix. How's it going to go? I don't know, man. The way the starting order is, it was randomly done by numbers. So you got some guys that we know really fast in the back. You got some guys we know really fast up front. You got some guys in the middle that are quick. It's going to be interesting. The first probably like 10 to 15 laps are probably going to tell us everything we really need to know about the race. Speed-wise, then it'll just kind of come down to who has the best long-run car. I mean, it's a short race, but the tires still get chewed up quick. So we'll find out everything here really, really shortly.
Yep, and tonight, as you see on your screen, we're in the Xfinity Series car, the number 9. And the reason for that is the driver of that number 9 in the Xfinity Series is on the pole for the Open from the back. He will be piloting the number 37 car tonight for JTG Daughtry Racing. So it'll be awesome to see what he can do. We're going to go over our starting order here for the All-Star Open as we are getting invites here. So we're going to accept the invite, and then we'll do the starting order. Actually, Kepper, you need to send me one. Actually, I forgot I'm on a different account.
I can do that, Slade.
Thank you. Fluffy, how you? Oh, Fluffy's in here too. He's just being quiet right now.
Yeah. Just chilling, man. Just chilling.
Be our front row. You're going to be not surprised. It is randomly generated, as you will see in the starting order for tonight's All-Star race, which I was not too happy about. But we're going to go starting order here as we get into the lobby. They're going to go straight to the race, they say. So we're going straight to the race. We're here to start in order. Starting on pole, the number 37 from the back, Xfinity Series regular. Starting P2 is the 34 of Trey, also in the Xfinity Series regular. Starting P3 is the 11 of Celtics. That's a Cup regular right there. Starting P4, the number 6 of Marcus E-Dub. Starting P5 is number 40 of X Intimidator and Xfinity Series regular. Starting P6 is the number 9 of J-Mons. Starting P7, Xfinity Series regular, Smoke Z-Mog, the number 2. Starting P8 is the number 1 of DWH. Starting P9 is the 4.
They're gone already, Slade. They're underway here. So
already.
That was quick.
So we
right
have
off the bat. You got the 37. He's out front with the 11 of. Is that who got the 11 tonight? Is that going to be Celtics?
That is Celtics. It is.
Yeah, looks like he's going to try to make the move on the top. I mean, that might work for a few laps. I know in the Xfinity Series race we had here, I was able to make some moves on the top. Ooh, Marcus sticks his nose in there. Is that Marcus in the 6 sticking his nose in there? Gave a 37 a little shot up the track. I can hear the 37 right now saying, "Come on, man!"
that is the classic Will Mosley call out if you get into him. But right now there are 3 wide in the back, the 40 into the wall in the back. He's going to move his way to the 10th position and fall into the outside line. But we're 3 wide here. Nicky Jobs in the middle started P10, I believe. Out there in that 24 car, right now the Cup Series points leader, has not won a race though, and he's looking to get his way to the Open. And a little clarification, the top 3 in this race will make their way into the All-Star race. So right now the spots you want to look for are the 37 Will Mosley, already 3 wide once again, Nick Jobs on the inside.
Yeah, it's important what you mentioned there about the top 3. So it kind of breaks some strategy into play of, all right, you got a good car, and you always love to win the race. Winning the race is always fun. It feels good. But do you go for the win, or if you're in a spot there, maybe sitting second, third, do you try to make a pass for the win, or do you just ride at third all the way through and transition over into the actual big race here coming up at like 9:25?
Yeah, how would you feel though? Ooh, a little loose out of the corner, the 37 car. Nick Jobs, like I said, started P10 already. He's made a lot of 3-yard moves, and he's already up to second. This is what's fun about this random order, though, because you have guys like Jobs started 10th, already up to second almost, making good moves. But you got Will up here, who was an Xfinity Series regular, has held this lead strong.
Yeah, and I know Will, whenever we worked on the Xfinity setup together here, and he put a lot of effort into having some speed in the car, but having a good long-run car. I really don't know much about Jobs' car. Now, I know he's had a lot of speed to get up through the field here. The question is that going to cost him? If this stays green, we don't get any yellows, is that going to hurt him? Because like, I have to believe, as fast as he moved up through the field, as hard as driving, his tires have got to be more worn than those of the 37 and the, let's say, the 9 and the 11.
There was a three battle there for the 5th position between the 6, the 9, and the 42. And it looks like the 42 made his best out of it. But DWH in that number 1, he's going to move to the outside of Will for the first place spot. Are they going to be 3 wide going into turn 1?
Oh, yeah, I think they are. And I'll tell you what we're kind of seeing here is we saw Jobs kind of slice and dice his way through the field and not have a whole lot of problems. Well, I was going to say the 37 was holding on really strong right there in the middle lane. And the 24 couldn't get around. However, the 43 did kind of stick his nose in there and kind of pushed the 37 out of the way a little bit, it looked like. So maybe the 43 and 24 are teaming up. I know when we race together during the normal races in the party, they're usually hand in hand there working together through the field. So maybe that was a little
big
strategy.
wreck in the back. 42 across the track. That involves the 40, the 2, the 9's involved.
There's a 9.
34.
Looks like the yellow's out.
Dodge it. It is. If I'm not mistaken, I couldn't tell if the 37, if it started with him, he might have got loose off the corner, but no matter what, the 6 car shot down the track coming off of turn 2 and clobbered the 42, and Pat's Ace lost control of his Chevrolet and went around. That's our first caution of the race.
Yeah, I think what we kind of saw there, we were talking about how the 43 kind of forced his way through the middle. I mean, you know how it looks to us here on the screen versus what it looks like when you're, playing the game and on each person's view, but they had to have. I mean, if this game showed you where they traded paint, the 43 car would have to have both the 24 and 37 paint on both sides because he kind of pushed right through them and squeezed through, and I think got a whole lot of both of them. So I don't know if that's what caused the whole thing, or how sometimes you get knocked out of the way a little bit, and you get flustered, and sometimes you make a mistake. If that's what happened to cause that big wreck there, but hey, that puts the number 1 car out front. I assume everyone took 4 tires. I'm not watching any streams, but if you didn't take 4 tires, you probably hurting yourself bad here. So.
Yeah, DWH to the first place position, and right now the top 3 spots, DW, Jobs, Mike, all Chevrolets, all Cup Series regulars at the 37. A little trouble in turn 2. He's going to get a 31. Hopefully the Xfinity is able to save it and merge nice and cleanly, but ooh, they're having some trouble merging though. Or the 31 is Deadpool. Excuse me, 31 is Deadpool.
Yeah, so now, like, if I'm the 37, the 9, the 31, it's like, are we going to race here? We're going to get in line, try to capture those guys? Because those 3 guys out front, they're the ones moving on. Right now, if you're sitting 4th, 5th, you're not moving on. You don't want these guys to get away from you. Yeah, you want to get in front of that guy, be the first car in the pack so you can make that first move. But to me, I would say, hey, let's line up here. Don't let those guys get away. Let's get up there and pass them.
Yeah, Will Mosley trying to make that outside work. He does have some help from the 11 and the 6 as Celtics at Marcus. He did both Cup Series regulars. And you got to have some, if you're Celtics, you just push that 37 as hard as you can and try and get that outside line going.
Yeah, and I think, like I said, the outside lane will work depending on your setup. I know I was able to make a couple passes on the outside in the Xfinity race. The Cup cars are obviously a little bit different. They have less horsepower actually than the Xfinity cars, but they have more grip and bite in the corners. So you might be able to make some more moves on the outside here actually. But I haven't seen anyone yet actually make a move. We did see the 37 kind of hold off a little bit. You know, make sure that sorry, I got a text message on my phone. Make sure that he wasn't giving up the spot there.
Oh, the 37 nails the 9.
Oh, yeah, he's struggling right there.
And that's going to cause a problem.
Oh, there they go.
42, 9, 2 once again, 11. And that is not going to bring out a yellow.
Wow, you really hate to see it, though, guys. I mean, man, you really, truly hate to see it.
The 31 just lost it all by himself. The 31 just lost it all by himself, and that takes out the 34. But that's going to bring out a yellow.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that's weird. I mean, you guys saw it on the stream. There was about a 6-car, 4-car, 5-car pileup on the backstretch, no caution. And then we have a single car spin with one more car getting involved, and we have a caution. So that's interesting, to say the least. But that is a huge break for 80% of the field. The only people that did not want to see that are these front two here of Jobs and Mike RPM. So now we are honestly not 100% sure how many laps. There's no stages, 13% times 3 tire and fuel race for the Open. But Marcus E-Dub and Pat's Ace will take your front row. It looks like a little strategy. Because remember, the 24 and the 43 were up front. They're going to go to the bottom. So right now, it's the 6, 42, and 24 as your top 3 spots. Mike going to push Jobs, try and get him ahead of the 6. But you know, there's 2 Ganassi cars up top, the 42 and the 40, along with the 1 on the inside. So Ganassi looking pretty strong here.
Yeah, Slade, and sorry I was quiet there. I was trying to chew gum and walk at the same time. I was looking to see if anybody had a stream up, just to see if I could get any indication on tire wear, fuel, things like that, what they may be doing. But I unfortunately am not able to find any streams at this time, so we're just gonna have to guess.
Oh, the 40 into the outside wall. That is X-Intimidator, and he gets a little contact with the 9 with a single car wreck on the back stretch. The 40. That is X-Intimidator, and the number 40. He usually runs the number 8 car in the Xfinity Series for Jerem. Ooh, a little contact, maybe 31 and 1, perhaps.
Well, that's not good. If he just got knocked out right there, then and there's no yellow, that's pretty much going to end any shot that he hopefully had at making or transitioning onto the big race tonight. So right now, like I said, I see the 24 and 43 up front. I kind of starting to feel like if this thing does go green, I don't know if they're the ones to beat. I think some of these guys kind of lurking there right behind him, like Marcus. I ran a little practice with him earlier. Marcus was good on the long run. I mean, he had speed and was good on the long run. The 42 there looked pretty good. So it'd be interesting to see what happens and how this plays out when they get up there.
Yeah, if we're on the onboard here, then we're going to have J Mons. He is right now in the 8th position. Looking to lose some spots. One got a little loose there. But right now, this is the battle for the last spot. If you're on board with the 42, Pat's Ace. He's running P5. It's between the 6, the 31, and the 42. These guys battling really hard. And it's going to make the 24 and the 43 get away. But you got don't look out now. 37, he's leading that backpack along with the 11 and the 1. They could be factors in the next coming laps.
Yeah, like I said, it looks like those 2 cars are starting to pull away a little bit. These guys just need to get organized. They're kind of all over the place. They're racing each other really hard. I know that they're technically racing for that last transfer spot. But if they're smart, maybe they can get together, get up there to those guys, and steal all 3 spots instead of maybe just this last one here.
Yep, Deadpool's starting to pull away. These guys are side by side. If I'm Pats or Marcus, I want to get single file. I want to go get this 31, just so we can have a chance. Even though, you know, it might, you know, like Marcus, he might lose a couple spots in the long run, but in the short run, but in the long run, it's going to work out very well for him.
Yeah, see, this is kind of like what I would call a mess of cars right here. If I'm anywhere in that group, I'm not happy right now because you got 2 cars way out front. Nobody's probably going to get them at this point, considering how many laps this race is. We've had 2 cautions, or 2 cautions. Then you got the 3 car, or is that the 31 car right there? Kind of just, you know, pulling away a little bit. So the 3 cars that are going to transfer have gained some space, some gas.
Oh, we got trouble in the back.
In the back.
The 6 car looked like a little bit loose off of turn 2. It's going to collect the 11, the 9. The 2 car got a piece of that. Smoke Zamog. And
no caution, so that's up to, that's not good for them. So now you got the 42 who's kind of been able to get away a tad. He's going to need that 37, the 1, the 6 to get out there, get behind them, draft a little bit, and see what they can do. At least give themselves a chance to battle for that last transfer spot. I would say at this point, first and second, with how many laps left, we don't know for sure how many laps are left, but I imagine it's not very many. It's probably out of the question at this point. But they still need to see about that third spot.
Yeah, Deadpool holding a strong 3rd place position at the moment. Mike RPM and Job's way out in front. Look like they're almost, if a caution does not come out, they're almost solidified into the All-Star race. And it looks like Deadpool's keeping a steady gap over the 42 of Pat A. So this could be your order right here.
Oh, those guys were trying to line up. The 1 kind of fell in line behind the 37. And it looks like the 37 just caught the wall a little bit out of the corner right there and slowed it up, so the 1 went around. So now the 1 and the 42, all Chevys right here, the 42, the 1, the 37. See if they can work together, get up there, and get the other 3 Chevys that are in the front. A lot of Chevys up here today.
That's correct. A lot of Chevys. I believe it's the top 6 are all Chevrolets, if it appears. Yes, all top 6 are Chevrolets, with 7th place being a Ford and the 8th place a Toyota. So it should be interesting to see, if these manufacturers want to work together. I mean, of course, for y'all Chevrolet top 6, I mean, there's not really you can do. You want to work with the manufacturer, but hopefully these Ganassi teammates on the 37, they get working together and they're able to get to the front.
Yeah, see, at this point, if I'm the 1, the 42, 37, Ford, Chevrolet, Toyota, it doesn't matter to me. I gotta work with this guy to try to get up there to catch at least get us to the 31 to have a shot. But I don't know. Like I said, I think the time's starting to run down. The laps got to be winding down. We don't know for sure. Of course, there's no stream, but I know this was a 13%. That's something like a 30 lap race, if that. They've ran quite a few laps. We've had 2 yellows to burn some time off, so there can't be any more than maybe 8, 9, 10 laps left. They're lined up again. You got Pats right there in the 42. You got the 1. You got 37 in Will, the DW in the 1. They are lined up. I can't, just using the eyeball here because we don't have a time taker. It looks like they may be, but the 37 is not content there to stay in line. He's going to fall back behind the 1. Meanwhile, the first 2 have checked out. The first 2, there's no reason to really even race each other up there. It would almost make no sense if you start racing each other up front. You're gonna, you might fall back a little bit. So they're good to stay at 1 and 2. Unless something crazy happens, I think they're good. But I don't know. The 24 was trying to possibly make a move.
Fluffy, do you care to go join that party and check how many laps we have, please?
I can.
Thank you. We're going to get little Fluffster to go check how many laps we have left, unless they, cross start finish right here and they slow down. No, we got more laps. But yeah, it looks like, I think they're catching them. The 1 and 42 are lock bumpers, 37 helping them with some draft, the 11 got around the 6, and that's going to be all the guys who already have a chance there. This don't count the 16, 11 out. If they can all work together and get to this 31, it's going to be a good battle. But yeah, the front 2 just pulled away, so I could say you could almost solidify the 43 and the 24 into the All-Star race.
I saw Jobs looked like he was peaking a couple times on the 43, but at the same time, it may have not been that. It may have just
37 right loose off the turn 4, and he goes through the grass, and he's just going to let the 11 and the 6 pass him by. So it's going to hurt the 37's chances.
Unfortunately, I cannot give any info on laps. Party was full, so...
37 got loose off a turn 2, and he goes for a single car spin.
Go to bed sleep.
Well, the best thing they can hope for is a yellow, but I don't think you're going to get it. I mean, with the updates we got for the game where you have the strict cautions versus the relaxed cautions, you're going to have a pretty big accident to get a yellow now. So I just don't see that happening. Now, like I said, they are the 1 and the 42 and the 1 there. They are reeling in that 31 car, but I just don't know if they got enough time.
That's what I was thinking. If maybe they had the 11 and the 6 there for some help, they might be able to get to him. But just take a look at. They have caught him though. They have got some ground on the 31 car, but it just doesn't look like it's going to happen.
How about those 2 up front? What I was going to say before the little spin there is, I saw the 24 peak a couple of times on the 43. I don't know if he was maybe just seeing what's up with his car, you know, like trying to test it for maybe because they kind of know when they're transferring into the next round. But he got on the outside of the 43 there for a little bit, then he just drove right back down behind him. I mean, they're smart guys. They know, they're watching the time and the score. And there goes actually the 24 is going around the 43, so they must feel confident that he can get around them and not lose too much time to the field. I mean, like I said, I don't know if I'm making that move. The 24 must feel like the 43 is holding them up. Is all I can figure, because I mean, there's really no other reason to do that, unless this is like maybe the last lap and he's trying to make a last lap pass for the win or something.
And once again, we've said several times we don't have usually for our races. It's usually Keffer as
the 24
broadcast.
and the 43 made contact.
They do make contact, and they're gonna come off triple if
each other out. This has got to be a last lap.
Run.
You don't make contact like that for no reason.
And that was the final lap.
Yeah. So the 43, the 24, and the 31 will transfer over.
So yeah, that's right. So technically, we're going to get a starting order here to end the show for the All-Star race, which will come on around 9:30. We will not be in the booth. We will all three be in the race. Should be Alex, Ned, Will, and Trey will be in the booth. Unfortunately, neither Will nor Trey could move on. But we're going to get each three of the guys who moved on. So for that order, that puts Jobs. I believe that puts Jobs. We're trying to get the order because some of the guys who are locked in are not able to race. So, looks like that might put Jobs P9, Mike P9, Jobs P10, and Deadpool 11. It'll be 11 car field in the All-Star race.
Yep, that'll be interesting. So, and I kind of like that's not a huge field tonight for the All-Star race. It's not like that in real life, and tonight we're gonna have one.
Alright, Flip, I want to get post-race interviews here. A couple of these guys, can you suggest them, Fluffy? It'll be Deadpool, Mike Jobs. Deadpool Mike Jobs. I believe Mike was in the Plan B sales 43, so we can.
I'm inviting them now.
Got my earplugs in.
Alright, there you go.
Alright. Split screen once again, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about this. We have kind of had to do it. Alright. We're gonna wait for everybody to get in here and then do the usual message, and then we're gonna get these interviews going. It's gonna be quick interviews here. Try to get this thing ended by 9:10. So we got 6 minutes to do interviews.
But he is the MOG goat.
Alright, we're gonna wait till Jobs gets in here and we're gonna get the usual message here. We're gonna interview you, Mike. First of all, Mike Deadpool, congrats on your top 3 finishes. Make sure your party audio is set to allow, please, for the interview.
Alright. Yeah, I'm good.
Alright. Mike RPM, this is your technically first, I believe it's your first event win of the season, if I'm not mistaken. Correct? I don't know why I took that schedule.
Yeah.
Technically first event win. The All-Star Open, which will start you, we're looking at you probably P9 to start the event, which is a fairly good position to be starting in. On the inside. Photography race, man, obviously it was short. I mean, it had 2 cautions. You and Joe were able to work your way through the field very quickly. Tell us about your race.
Yeah. You know, we worked on the setup a couple hours earlier, did some testing with Jobs. We knew we were both going to have to transfer in. We figured if we could just set our cars up long run, have a lot of speed, and we could just hook up together. We didn't think anybody would be able to challenge us, and we got through the field pretty quick there, and we hooked up, and that was all she wrote. But, yeah, it was good working with Jobs. It was good to run up there. We were having some fun.
Yeah, it looked like from whenever, almost immediately, y'all two pulled away. You know, third place was kind of there. But then there was such a big just gaggle of cars from fourth on back for the longest point of time. So it was almost a guarantee for y'all to make it on to the big finale without a caution. Starting P8, I believe you started P8 in the Open. What are your thoughts?
13th.
Oh, you were 13. Never mind.
Yeah.
You were 13.
It took 5 laps to get up there. I just
That's
followed
right.
Jobs up there, and we were just kind of skirting through traffic there, and it's a little caution, but yeah.
What were your thoughts when you knew you were starting 13th or I forgot 13th or 12th? I forgot. What were your thoughts going through your mind? Like, how am I going to work through this field? You know, it was a random order for the viewers who didn't know. It was a random order what started this race. What were your thoughts though, starting that deep in the field with such a short race?
You know, coming into it, of course, I got last straw, and I was like, oh, here we go. You know, it's a short race. I got to get to the front. There's only 3 lick transfers, so yeah, I was a little bit nervous about that, but I was pretty confident in the car, and I knew we could get it done. It just took a little time and patience. That's all.
I can't wait to see the guy face to face.
Fluffy, do you have any questions
The same energy.
for our showdown or open winner? Excuse me. Do you have any questions for Mr. Mike RPM?
Nah, man. All I can say is, man, you did a hell of a job out there, man, going from back to the front.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I worked on this car
Yeah.
a while. I was really bad here, so it was good to see some results come out of it.
Hell yeah, man! Congrats on your. What did you win or Jobs?
He won.
I won. Jobs
okay.
and I we went into 3 and 4, and I went to try to pinch him down, and he drove in there. It didn't stick. It drove up the track, and we made contact, and he said, "Yo, I'm like, you can have that one. I'm not gonna move you out of the way for it." But we decided with 2 to go, we were gonna duke it out, have some fun, you know, put on the show. But
I got you. Well, good win, man. Good hell of a car coming from the back to the win, man.
appreciate it, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike, for your time in the booth. It's been Mike RPM, driver number 43 for Richard Petty Motorsports, and you will see him in the All-Star race here shortly. Looks like we're not going to be able to get Jobs in here, who finished P2, who will also belong to the All-Star race. Jobs, your points leader, the number 24 in the Pocono Raceway Cup Series. So we're going to move on to our next place finisher in Deadpool, the Xfinity Series regular, who drives number 21 for RCR. Went in today in the number 31 in the Cup Series and got her P3. Deadpool, tell us about your race, man.
Well, that was a fun race. I mean, it was a short race. I mean, starting back there with Mike RPM in 11th, I was like, oh man, sitting there starting race. I was like, oh Lord, help me, Jesus. I've got okay, calm myself, think. To be honest with you, I didn't think I had a chance. I really didn't, but I just sat there and, put everything I worked on over the, last several months of working and getting better and just like stayed calm and just drove my butt off. That's all I could do. And finally something good happened for me.
Hey man, P3 tonight is put you into the All-Star race. I believe you'll be starting P11 for the amount of cars you got, which is the final car, and now Nick Jobs joins. Thank you, Jobs, for joining the party as we're interviewing third. But Deadpool, Fluffy, do you have any questions for our third place finisher?
Honestly, those last couple of laps, man, didn't you think the 42 and the 1 were going to, catch you there at the end?
Yeah, I actually, I was in the back of my mind center thinking, okay, they're going to catch me. But I knew if I just hit my marks, I knew I had really good long run car, really good speed on the long run. I spent 7 hours a day testing and working on long run speed. I knew this track was going to have somewhat of a draft effect, but you also needed long run speed. So I forgot.
Right.
I threw everything out the window. Like, all right, we don't need a hot lap. We need a good,
Energy
consistent
backhand
flow in the
index
car.
pointing
That's
up.
what I worked on and just focused. I turned the mirror off and just hit my marks and just drove the wheels off of it and pray I didn't
You'll
hit the
figure
wall
it out.
or the
That
apron.
field.
But
Well, congratulations on uh, being in the final transfer spot there, and definitely will see you out there.
Yep, Deadpool, congrats on your third place finish, and we will see the number 31 out there on the track here shortly in about 20 minutes for the All-Star race at Chicago. Thank you for your time.
thank you, fellas. Thank you.
All right, because he started in the rear, and he was in the rear to join these interview parties. But Joe's, make sure your party audio is set to always allow, please, so we can do this interview. Oh, he's already prepared. You were in Exalta. That's right. So Job's P2. Nice job. You started P10, if I'm not mistaken, in the back. Same as Mike almost, or pretty much the same as Mike. I'm probably going to ask you the same question. But led a good bit of laps in the open. Sorry, I'm trying to read text messages. Trying to get also race going. But very fast car. You and Mike worked your way to the front. We're 3 wide almost every point, every turn for the first 4 laps. Tell us about your race, man.
Yeah, just trying to get up there as quickly as possible. I mean, starting in the back, didn't have much time to really work, being a 35-lap race there. So just tried to get there as quickly as possible and was able to kind of make short work of it. And once we got to the front, I think Mike and I pulled away a little bit. So from there, we kind of just rode. There wasn't anything to really drive for there, knowing that the top 3 advanced. So we kind of just rode to a top 2 finish.
Yeah, we were looking at the we were kind of focusing more on the 1, the 42, and the 31 because they were on the final transfer spot while you and Mike pulled away. But yeah, we kept saying if there's no caution, the 24 and the 43 almost are guaranteed to go to the main event. But Fluffy, do you have any questions for our second place finisher here today?
I do not.
And sadly, Jobs, as a points leader, Mike RPM was able to win an event before you did. How does that feel?
It's just the open, we'll get in the All-Star race.
That's what we like to hear. That was Nick Jobs, driver number 24 for Friendship Motorsports in the Pocono Racer Cup Series for Team MBN. Thank you for your time. Congrats on your second place finish. We'll see you in about 20 minutes.
Thanks.
Well, Fluffy, it was a fairly short stream here. Fairly short here. Pretty much, a couple cautions, 2 cars drove away. It was a battle for that final spot. Take us through your overview of tonight's little short showdown race.
Oh, it was a good race. There was a few incidents here and there, but I mean overall good racing. Honestly, I did not really expect the finishing order to be Jobs and Mike and Deadpool. I was going into the race thinking it was probably going to be Will. Will's been looking strong here the last couple of weeks. But you never really can count out Jobs and Mike because they are really consistent and really fast everywhere they go. But overall, man, them 3 drivers, they definitely deserve it. And, looking forward to going into this All-Star race here in a couple of minutes. And overall, the race was really good tonight, and glad to be in the booth once again.
Yeah, it's a fairly exciting race, especially when there was a whole gaggle of cars almost for the half of the race battling for that final transfer spot. But at the end of the day, 2 cars pulled away, and one was able to edge the rest of them out. But for this short little stream we have here for the All-Star Open, this is going to end it here. It's been Slade G84, Fluffy, and Jeremy Keffer, who we heard earlier in the race, had to go test his car. But as we just a little recap, Mike RPM and Jobs 25 and Deadpool moved the way to the All-Star race and will most likely start positions 9th through 11th out of the 11-car field. We'll catch you guys in 20 minutes as Alex now will be the main broadcast along with Will Mosley and Trey most likely. This has been Slade G84 and Fluffy signing out. Have a good night.